The reason why I became a firefighter was it was a goal, first of all, that I wanted to obtain since I was about like 6 or so. Also, just like in the fire service, now that I've achieved that goal, it's something that I couldn't regret doing. It's a wonderful job.
What made me join the fire department? While I was in college, my roommate and I was talking about different careers that would really be satisfying. And so fire department came up. At the time, my girlfriend, well now my wife, got pregnant when we was in college. So I said, okay, well I can find a job that can have benefits, support me for now until I move on to something better.
I guess I always liked the firefighting career profession. When I was a little boy, I thought about being a fireman, and that thought went away as I got a little bit older. The opportunity came back again as I got old enough. The thought came again, and I thought, well, I'll go for it. And I got on the first time.
At the time when he decided to join, it was 2 offers available. They were hiring for the post office and the fire department, and he decided that he would like to try out for the fire department.
My mother wanted me to join the post office, and my wife said, no, you don't want to join the post office. I want you in the firefighting career. That's a more manly job, she said.
And he did pass the first phase of the test, which allowed him to go on to the second phase. He had to take a physical test, and he had to pass the written test. And at the time of the tryouts, his dad wasn't really sure he was going to be able to pull it off, but he did, because compared to the other firefighters, he was a little overweight. He did pass it with flying colors, and he got the letter in the mail about a week before Christmas saying that he made it.
When I actually found out I got hired, I didn't know I got hired. It took about a month before I actually found out I was hired. They had sent the letter to the house saying, congratulations, you've been hired. And my wife got the letter and held it from me. It was right around Christmas time. She was holding it as a Christmas gift. So I'm at a job that I didn't like, they didn't like me, and I'm suffering. I'm on the phone. I used to always call on my break. And I'm like, they doing this, they doing that. And finally she said, okay, look, you got the job at the fire department. You can quit that job whenever you want to.
But the first time you pull up on scene, see the thick, dark smoke, and feel the heat radiating from the house, it changed your whole attitude and your mindset.
Going into the fire for my first time, it was an adrenaline rush, but at the same time it was scary because you didn't know what was going on or basically what the experience or what to even think of.
I saw how it was on TV. That was my perception of firefighting, how it looked on TV. They come there, they throw some water in, they knock the fire out. Where's the harm and danger? But you know, as I actually joined the job, I realized it's a whole lot different than that. We don't just stand outside and throw water in. You go in there and put fire out. I'm a fire prevention inspector. My job now is to make sure the fires don't start in the first place, or to try to minimize the damage and make sure life safety. We're always doing life safety. So when I was fighting fire, we're trying to save somebody's life. Now what I'm trying to do is make sure there's no fire in the first place so I can save somebody's life. It's always life safety. So I go do code enforcement, make sure that building's not gonna burn down, make sure that there's not too many people in the structure. My job is to talk to little kids, teach them about fire safety. How do you get out? Teaching them to stop, drop, and roll, teaching them to get down, get out, stay out. We do all that, and that's a lot of fun.
As a youngster, firefighters to me were like heroes. My dad is a hero. Thinking back as I grew up, watching him as a fireman on the fire department, I was always proud to tell people, my daddy worked for the fire department, my daddy a fireman. My dad started off in the fire department, I was about 3 years old. And at that time, I had never seen any firemen besides the ones on TV. Being a firefighter for my dad is a part of who he is. He not only is a fireman, he takes his job and is very passionate about it from his day-to-day work schedule and activities.
I think I missed like 3 or 4 Christmases in a row because it just happened to be that was the day my schedule fall on. If it's your work day and it's Christmas, you go to work.
During the holidays were kind of rough because a lot of times during Thanksgiving and Christmas especially, it would be a lonesome time for me and the family because we knew he had to be there 24 hours.
So it was this one Halloween, and my dad, anybody that knows him knows he's really big on celebrating Halloween with his kids. He makes it a whole family thing. I was dressed up like Little Red Riding Hood. My little sister Michele was one of the 3 little pigs along with Micaiah and Mikey. And my dad dressed up as the big bad wolf. He had a whole mask on, and he had the claws on his fingers. And my mom, I believe she was like the sick grandmother from the story that Little Red Riding Hood was going to see. And he took us all trick-or-treating like every other year. And we would get in the car and go from store to store getting as much candy as we could. And I remember he got a call on his cell phone from work telling him that he had to come in. They needed all of the emergency officers to be on duty because a big fire had broke out on the east side of Flint. I remember thinking, why they can't find somebody else to put that fire out, honestly? But he had to do what he had to do. Later on that night, I think my mom was making sloppy joes or something, and he came busting through the door with 3 big bags of chocolate candies.
I know I do always try to make it up. If I had to go to work on Christmas, like I said, I make sure we go out the day before. If I have to go to work for Halloween, I bought big bags of candy home. Say, here, I'm sorry I had to go, but this is for you.
To explain this job to my family, basically, I'll just let them know there's going to be definitely some hard days, and if I'm not in the mood to talk about it, I'll just basically let them know minor pieces, and then when I'm comfortable to express how I'm feeling or what was going on, to just communicate. That's definitely the biggest thing, is just to communicate and not act out of just the feelings.
My wife, my mother, they didn't want me to pursue this career. When I told them I was going to start, oh, okay, it'll be good. But once I got into it, that's when the nerves and everything came. So they still worry to this day. I'm not fighting fire like I used to now. I got a promotion, so I'm driving. So I'm not in the fires like I used to. So the anxieties have went down, but they still nervous about it. My son, both of my boys, they still a little worried, but.
My first year on the job, they had this movie called Backdraft. It came out. And I was a rookie fireman when that movie came out, 1991. That's the year I started on the fire department. We went to see the movie Backdraft, and we're enjoying it. You know, I'm watching it like, oh yeah, I had never seen it before. And I'm like watching the fire alarms go off and the guy taking his time getting on the truck. I'm sitting there like just analyzing the movie. The star of the show, Kurt Russell, he dies in the movie. Now, we'd never seen this movie before. And my wife like, he died? At that moment, she kind of started crying, and I tried to play it off like, I'm all right, it ain't gonna happen to me, you know, I'm good and everything, but it was really tough to sit there and watch her crying, so I'm just smiling and trying to walk off in front of them, and me and Curtis, we walked away, and she was just in tears, and Sherry was trying to comfort her, and I didn't know what to say, I just kind of like walked away, and you know, I let it go with that. I didn't want her to show that, you know, this could break somebody down and you can get scared. But I kind of just like tried to play that off like that ain't got no effect on me. And so I was hoping it wouldn't have no effect on her because I was just starting. I had a lot of years to go. I think that's when I found the Lord. I don't remember. Yeah, that was kind of tough, but for the most part, you know, everything's been good.
It's something crazy every work day, every month, every week. It's something crazy. Saving a kid, saved a 12-year-old once. That was amazing. The teaching, I wanted to be in the fire prevention aspect of the department. Giving knowledge to individuals, helping them for fire safety and things like that. Just for the public, giving that knowledge, but the upcoming firefighters, helping them to see the importance of training, staying in shape, being familiar with your surrounding. I just enjoyed coaching the younger firefighters coming up.
Keep my hopes and dreams that I'll continue on the department.
We was in there putting fire out, and the sergeant told me to go back out to the truck and go get an axe and bring it in. So I went back out, grabbed the axe, came back in, and the fire's still going. There's still heat and smoke, and I crashed right through the floor and fell all the way to the basement. Scared the daylights out of me. And the sergeant walks over to me and said, "Did you bring the axe?" He didn't say, "Are you okay?" "Are you all right?" Nothing. He just said, "Did you bring the axe?" I looked at him and said, "Yeah." At that point, I realized some of these people are crazy, and I guess maybe I'm crazy too, because I'm in here right beside them.